Hello, and welcome to the Good Food program. Your host is Cindy Cesena, the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program Assistant for Lake County, Ronan, Montana. These programs are designed to help families with children use USDA and other inexpensive foods to prepare tasty, nutritious, attractive meals that are low in cost. The recipes will be put on the screen later, so keep a pencil and paper handy. Videotapes of these programs are available at the FNEP office in Lake County and other Extension Service offices in Montana and the Salish Kootenai College Library in Pablo.
Today we're going to fix recipes with milk and cheese, which includes a whole food group out of the 4 food groups. And so I thought right off I would read some information to you about the protein and calcium in cheese and milk dishes. Protein builds tissues and maintains them, forms an important part of enzymes, hormones, and body fluids, helps form antibodies to fight infection, and supplies energy. Calcium builds bones and teeth, helps blood to clot, helps nerves, muscles, and heart to function properly. And I thought this was important because that's just about your whole body and everything you do. So we'll carry on from there. And there were so many things possible to fix today. There's so many good cheese and milk recipes that I've got it down to 4. And we're going to start out with a cheese pie. And first I'm going to make a pie crust. Take a cup of flour, and where did it go? There it is. And 1/3 of a cup of shortening. And you can use half whole wheat flour in this. And some people make really excellent whole wheat pie crusts. I haven't done it yet. So if anybody has a good recipe, send it in. Okay. Then take the pastry blender and cut the shortening in. And this is another one of those things that they say you can do with 2 knives, and I haven't had any luck with it. Okay. When it gets crumbly like that, then we'll add some water. About 1/3 of a cup. And just kind of toss that in until it sort of follows itself around the bowl. Which it's not doing because it wants more water. And the water that you use, it'll depend on the outside humidity and a lot of other things, so it's just roughly 1/3 cup. More. There we go. Once you know how to make a pie crust, you're just about home free. You can make anything and turn it into a pie. Okay. Get that out of the way. And this is a pastry cloth to keep it from sticking. And I couldn't make pie crusts at all until I found out about pastry cloths, because they'd end up in about 10 different pieces and it didn't work too good. And just take it and kind of pat it around the edges and try and get rid of the crinkly things on the side there, because they'll split on you later. Like that one. Here goes. Just work out from the middle with short strokes. Don't just take big long strokes like that or it'll get tough. That looks about right. Then roll it up on the rolling pin. And try to get it to go on there. Yeah. That's not too bad. Okay, and then you can take some off where it's a little heavy. And put water on it and patch it in where it needs some more. And there's another spot. Not supposed to have to do that, but sometimes you do. And turn the edge under. And don't stretch it too much that way when you put it in, because it'll shrink when it bakes. Okay. We're getting there. And then if you want to, you can just take your fingers like that and make a little ridge. A few years ago, quiches were really popular, and there were a bunch of jokes going around about people eating quiches or not eating quiches, and then everybody decided no, they were bad for you after all because they had cream in them and fat and things like that. But this one has low-fat milk, and it's okay. That'll work. And take 2 cups of shredded cheese and put it in the bottom. And over that, put a tablespoon of flour in there and kind of dredge the cheese with it, like that. And then on this one I'm going to put some luncheon meat. This is the USDA luncheon meat. And you can use chicken to put on here too, or not anything at all, or you could put zucchinis or broccoli or green onions or whatever you wanted. And this is about a cup of luncheon meat. Let's see, I'll stick it in there. Okay. Now I'll get these things out of the way so I can mix up the custard that goes on it. And I'll put in 3 eggs. Cup of milk. Oh. There. And this is, like I said, the non-fat dry milk reconstituted. And when I mix it up, I put in a little more milk than they say because it ups the calcium and I think it improves the flavor. And okay, a half a teaspoon of dry mustard. That sounds strange, but it comes out good. And a couple shots of hot sauce or cayenne. And a little bit of salt. And a few good cranks of pepper. Forgot the tomato. And this time of the year, the tomato is mostly for looks, because they don't taste very good. Okay, and then about a teaspoon, of basil. And then just pour the custard on top of all this, we hope. And bake in a 350 oven for about 50 minutes. You should check it depending on your oven. We'll find out. And that's all there is to that one. The next dish that we're going to make is cheese spinach pie. And the cottage cheese that goes in it doesn't have as much calcium as some other things. Like it takes 2 cups of cottage cheese to have as much calcium as 1 cup of yogurt or 1 glass of milk. But it does have spinach in it, which has calcium in it. And mustard greens have calcium in them too. And other dark leafy vegetables. And the first thing we're going to do is I've already sauteed some onions. And we're going to put a clove of garlic in with that and saute it. Okay. And I've put 1 tablespoon of butter and a cup of onions in here that have already been sauteed, and we'll just saute the garlic lightly. And then put in a whole package of spinach. And I thawed the spinach out ahead of time. And you could use fresh spinach with this and it would be even better, but you'd want to steam it real good first. There, can you see that? Okay, we'll just let that saute itself for a little bit, and we'll get the other things ready to go. And this is a 9-inch pie plate that we're using. And I'm going to spray it with this no stick spray that you buy. And this is pretty good. It costs a lot of money, but you can use it many, many times. And it's low fat, so it works out. And on the filling, I'm going to put in 2 eggs. And 1 cup of cottage cheese. And 1/3 of a cup of just the dried milk powder. And this, again, makes the protein complement, the cheese and the milk and the eggs. And then we'll put in 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And that's 1 tablespoon. And that's the other one. And let's see, half a teaspoon of caraway seed. And a little sprinkling of nutmeg. And for some reason with a lot of quiches they use nutmeg, so okay. And this should be ready now. And we'll just put this into the pan. And then kind of mush it around till it looks sort of like a pie crust. You can do this with Swiss chard too, and it's really good. Okay, just about like that. And just pour the filling in. This one's really easy. And spread it around. And then 2 more tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And this makes 4 servings, and each serving will have 23% of your daily calcium needs in it. And we'll put some nutmeg on top just for good luck. And then you put it in a 350 oven for about 25 minutes. And it's already at 350, so we'll put it in. Okay. The next thing we're going to make is macaroni and cheese, which sounds kind of simple, but a lot of people haven't made it from scratch. And you start out with white sauce. And what I've done is I've melted 2 tablespoons of margarine in the saucepan and put in half a cup of minced onions, minced real fine. See, they're quite a bit smaller than the other onions that we did. And next I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons full of flour. Okay. And stir that around. And it makes kind of a paste. And take it off the heat for just a minute and put in, a half a teaspoon of mustard. And the mustard in macaroni and cheese, it just kind of perks it up. And then we'll add 3 cups of milk. And do it gradually. Just start with a little bit to kind of break this up. So it's just kind of smooth. And that's the non-fat dry milk again. I don't cook with anything else. I don't figure you need the added fat. And at this point you have to keep stirring it or it will burn. And it will eventually get thick. We don't have time for it to go through the whole thing today, but when it does, then you'd add 2 cups of cheese and a dash or 2 of Tabasco sauce and some garlic powder. And what I've done is I've already made up some ahead of time. And that's what it looks like when it's done. And then this is a 1.5 cups of macaroni raw, cooked, in a 2-quart casserole. And you just pour that on there. And this comes out really good. You'll never eat the packaged stuff again. 1 tablespoon of melted margarine and 3 tablespoons of dry breadcrumbs. And sprinkle them on the top. This part makes really good. Okay. And sprinkle a little paprika on the top. And put it into a 350 oven for about a half an hour.